Welcome to 3D Movie Cinema, the only show that's three dimensions away from James Gunn directing a Guardians of the Galaxy versus the Suicide Squad. I'm your host 3D Jake, and today we're looking at Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special. Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special is written and directed by James Gunn and stars Chris Pratt, Palm Clementis, Dave Bautista, Bradley Cooper, Vin Diesel, as well as Sean Gunn and Kevin Bacon. And the special is essentially about what happens, like what Peter is kind of down after the events of Thor: Love and Thunder and Endgame. Peter Quill's kind of down, and it's Christmas time, and so Mantis decides, okay, hey, why don't me and Drax go down to Los Angeles and kidnap his favorite star, Kevin Bacon. And so chaos ensures for them to get there and everything, and it's actually a pretty fun show. Like, I will say this, when I heard they were making this, I was not a big fan. I was like, come on, man, they're gonna do a Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special. I knew they shot it on the set of Guardians 3, and so like that was the first thing they shot. And so when I heard they were making it, I was like, oh, come on. I was like, what is it gonna be, like some bad guy's gonna destroy a Christmas or something, and they have to go save the day and stop him? Like, oh, what's happening? A team with Santa Claus, and they're gonna stop like some bad guys. Like, I'm gonna take all the toys in the world. No, it wasn't that at all. It was actually just a pretty fun. It's mostly a Gamora, not a Nebula. It's mostly just like a Mantis and Drax. Buddy type. Like a buddy cop type situation where it's just two buddies, rampaging through Los Angeles. That's kind of what it is, and it's actually a fun little thing. Like, Star-Lord's in the beginning and end, but he's not really in it, which it's only like 45 minutes long. And so, like, it's not really, it's like, like under an hour. And so it is what it is, And some people aren't going to like this. I really enjoyed it. I really thought the humor was pretty good. Like, I love how they go, like, like they're singing, spoilers for this review, that, like, they're singing, like, what Christmas is about, like, who Santa Claus is, about how he hangs tongue in your socks if you don't leave milk and cookies out, and like you have to stab him in the eyeballs to kill him. And I'm just like, that's not nothing about Christmas. And it's like how, like, and just like how that one, and James Gunn's brother Sean Gunn's telling this guy about all this false stuff about Santa Claus, and where Star-Lord, played by Chris Pratt's like, no, none of this is true. And so it is fun. It was fun. And then also I really enjoyed just the adventures of Drax and Mantis going through, like, getting drunk at a bar, and like them just taking, like, all the money, like, especially there's a scene where they're drunk and they're like we need a map to Kevin Bacon's house, and she just touches her and says, you will give me it for free. You will give me all your money too. And then they go to Kevin Bacon's and just chaos, where they're just chasing through his house, and then, like, James Gunn's so unique with his humor, and like, like they're playing a song, I Want an Alien for Christmas, and so I get with the scene that's happening is kind of the, parallels to the scene, which I thought was crazy. James Gunn did that with Peacemaker and the Suicide Squad, especially with Peacemaker, when the the butterflies attack the police station, you hear the song Monster playing. I mean, that to me is what it reminded me of, and I'm like, that's James Gunn 100% in a nutshell, and I love that about him. And so when I was watching this, I'm like, this is great. Like, I would rewatch this again. I mean, it's not a very, like, it's not, I wouldn't even really consider it a movie, but it still kind of is, And so I really like, that, them, like, there is, I really like the humor with this, especially how they're just like, all this crazy stuff with, especially Kevin Bacon. He really shines, especially, you see him do different accents and everything, because the way Mantis keeps touching, you're this, you're this, you're this. And Kevin Bacon keeps swapping personalities because of Mantis keeps touching him. And I really like that aspect. And I also really like that they, brought in some real world aspects of Kevin Bacon, like his wife, Kira Sedgwick. And I really like that, you hear on the phone. And I like that they brought in, like, he's a musician. And so basically, I really like that they did that, brought that aspect of Kevin Bacon. I like that he got to sing at the end. I really thought that was great. I was expecting a Footloose dance number, but I'm glad that they did this instead, because I feel like that would have been a little bit too cheesy. But I think this works better for him to sing, do like a little song for like for the movie, and I think that would really also help, like, his band out, because I'm sure people will go clamor to look that song up and want to listen to it afterwards. And I really do think that I do wish there was more Star-Lord and Rocket Raccoon, but I understand. And it is great to see Groot, like Groot's grown up again. He's different. I like that they didn't just go back to Guardians 1 version of Groot. and I like that they changed him up and made him look more like a bulky. You know, I do like that aspect of it, and I think the humor is really solid, and I like to see you get to see like little cameos from different people. Like you get to see Javelin is the bartender, who's in the Suicide Squad. He's the bartender in this movie, and obviously you get to see in which if you watch the Suicide Squad at the bar when they go to the Gentleman's Club, there is Mantis is actually one of the performers, one of the dancers that's in a wig. She's dancing, doing a dance number. So I think that's amazing that they swapped that scene in this one. When you're watching this, the bartender is Javelin, who's in the Suicide Squad, so it's swapping DC and Marvel out. Kind of I like that. I thought that was a very interesting aspect of this. And I really like the humor. I like that. And there's also John Cena, like a little. He's not really in the movie, but like there's a picture of him and Margot Robbie, who played Peacemaker and Harley Quinn, when they were looking on the map. And obviously Michael Rooker, who plays Yondu, was obviously it was, he was in the Suicide Squad as well. And so I really like that this aspect of it, and I really think that the humor really works for me. The only thing I did not like was the animated sequences at the beginning of the movie. Like I felt like the animated thing, with like Peter. I understand why they did it, because one, the kid that played Peter grew up, and I know James Gunn's not really fond of using child actors to for him to recast. So I think, well, you know what, let's just make it animated, so that way we don't have to bring back a child actor. That makes sense. And also, which I think would have been cool for them just to de-age the kid or something, but I understand they're going to try to spend a lot of money on a Christmas special when they were making Guardians 3, so I think this was made for like a low budget as they could. And I really like to see, I like that Kevin Bacon was in this, and I really like that, this does feel like, something you could watch every year without having to watch other things. Like, I like that they didn't try to drag in plot points from other, they did like nod like, oh, Vigo the Living Planet, but they didn't really, Thanos, and where's the Gamora and all that stuff. I like that they saved that for Guardian 3. But I did like that humor. I just didn't like the animation, and I kind of wish it was longer. I feel like 45 minutes is fine, but I kind of feel like we needed a little bit more, just a little bit more. Like, I think like a solid 60 minutes would have been perfect. But I think, it's fine. I mean, 45 minutes, and I really did like the humor. I like the humor, and I really like the humor, and I like the Kevin Bacon in this movie. And I like this line. There's a line in the movie, where Mantis is like, so not all, or no, Nebula is like, so not all of actors are pieces of shit. I thought that made me laugh. I'm like, yeah, that just made me chuckle. And, I do like that, Star-Lord, when they open up Kevin Bacon, like, no, this is human trafficking. This isn't, you can't give a person as a present. It's human trafficking. But that was pretty funny. And I really like, I really like, when they're going at the Hollywood Walk of Fame, and she sees Steve Rogers, goes, Steve! And it runs away, because it's like, they don't know that these are cosplayers. And then they think that Drax is cosplaying as the God of War, as Kratos from the God of War. And I just thought that was hilarious. I was like, and so, I mean, those things that made me laugh really hard. I thought that was what made me chuckle a lot. And so, I mean, that was pretty fun. But yeah, I mean, besides the animation, if it was longer, and I think the animation is what really, nobody gives me a solid A+, but I think with the animation at the beginning and the end, I feel like that right there kind of hurt it for me. And so, like, if they would have just not started out with that, if they would have started off with just, like, with just them, like, singing or something, that would have probably made it more happier for me. But if it wasn't for that bad animation sequence, then I probably would have been much happier with it. But between that and the fact that it's only like 40 minutes long, that's like that hurt it for me. But I still love this movie. And I think I would love to watch it every year as a special next to, like, Rudolph, because it's fun. And, I think like the whole family would enjoy this. If I had to give it a grade, I'd give it a solid B+.
I'm Groot.